Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, Ma'am Susan, and hello, my friend. How you are today? I hope you always healthy and happy. We from Office Administration Education, Faculty of Economics, Universitas Negeri Jakarta. Please allow us from Group 4 to a presentation about inviting guests or co-worker to eat out and how to accept and declining the invitation. Before starting the presentation, it will be nice for us to introduce ourselves. My name is Alicia Lela Belkis, and today I'm here with my friend. Name is Husnul Otimah, Jabarani Nur Majidu, Hoiru Indah Paraswati, Widya Astuti Cahyani, and Yunita. Today, the content learning material is about 1. Theoretical background, 2. Invitation strategies, 3. Making an invitation, 4. Accepting an invitation, 5. Declining an invitation, 6. The important roles in business dinner. Theoretical background. The term speech act refers to the realization of the speaker's intention in a single or a sequence of utterances. The speech act of invitation appears, for example, when the speakers are showing their intention to request the hearer participation in or attendance at a certain occasion, mainly the one hosted by speaker. Invitation is an illocutory speech act which is supposed to be basically face-enhancing act whenever you say something that lessens the possible threat to another face for the hearer, because the speaker undertakes in this speech act to offer the hearer an opportunity to enjoy or acquire something for the benefit of the hearer. In this sense, invitation is assumed to belong chiefly to serious, expressive, and religious convivial speech act categories because of its face-enhancing act nature. The meaning of the statement itself, illocutory act, the contextual function of the act. Perlocutory act, what achieved by saying something, this is the effect of the act upon the listener. In this work on the theory, Searle suggests 5 illocutory acts that one can perform in speaking. 1. Assertive. Statement that may be judged true or false because they purport to describe a state of affairs in the world, such as asserting, concluding. 2. Directive. Statement that attempt to make racist action fit the proportional content. 3. Commissive. Statement which commit the speaker to a course of action and as described by the proportional content, such as promising, offering. 4. Expressive. Statement that express the sensory condition of the speech act, such as apologizing, thanking, inviting. 5. Declarative. Statement that attempt to change the world through utterances such as declaring war. However, although Cyril speaks of the speaker-hearer's relationship and marks the directness of speech act which carries the relation between the literal meaning of the words and the implicate function. He neglects all other variables such as social status, sex, age, and cross-cultural difference of certain speech acts. Most of the elements, however, are accounted for by Brown and Levinson in their work on politeness theory, the focus of which is notion of face, suggested earlier by Goffman. The notion of face as suggested by Goffman and developed by Brown and Levinson is an important framework within which invitation making and acceptance can be successfully explained. The notion of face has been defined as the negotiation, public image, mutually agreed by participants in a communicative event. For Goffman, a person face in his image of himself in terms of approved social attributes. In encounter, all participants are responsible for maintaining their own and each other face cooperatively in the course of the interaction. For Brown and Levinson, face is a favorable public image consisting of two different kinds of desire or face. One's the desire to be enacted is in one action and desire to be proof of the former.
Next, my name is Yunita. I will explain about invitation strategies. Number 1. Speech arch of invitation. Speech arch of invitation as defined by researchers Austin, Patrick, and Yule. It's an electionary as which occurs when an inviter is showing his intention to recruit a hearer's participants in attendance at a certain occasion in an immediate or future activity at a specific time and certain place. The aim of performing ostensible invitation is not establish the invitation, but to fulfill social, ritual, and intervention to assist a harmonious human relationship. Accordingly, it can be concluded that the above-mentioned strategies might represent particular social group. The court be more or less than the strategies depending on the society in which possible invitation are assembled. 2. Types of invitation can be divided into types which call direct and indirect invitation. Based on the mode of sentence, direct invitation is divided into several types of speech acts such as performative, declarative, imperative, conditional, and hoping. An indirect invitation is divided into types of interrogative invitation, like yes or no question and fact question, and asking willingness. Amelia States sentence formally divided into naive sentence, which is also called declarative, integrative sentence, or interrogative and imperative sentence, or other. 3. Politeness and polite invitation. Politeness in language study called the how language express the social distance between speaker and their different role relationship. B. How password, that is the attempt to establish, maintain, and surface during conversation is carried out in a speech community. Politeness in English is personified by someone who is polite, has good manners, and behaves this way that is socially correct and not rude to other people. Many strategies of politeness have been studied by theorists and research, which are employed by a speaker to promote and maintain harmonious relations by displaying consider for one in intercultural feeling. Number 4. Previous study on speech act of invitation. Suggestive in his study aimed to explore inviting strategies used by Indonesian students as non-native speakers of English. The finding show that there are many inviting strategies incorporated by the students. The finding indicate the longer that situation, The longer the invitation study makes us they translate our sentence into English. Different gender was found to utilize different strategies will ask different social status and familiarity. Lack of English proficiency made more formative error than those with high proficiency. Data show weakness mercury the participant reflected the situation that the female participant then to use for maker than the male participant. Meeting invitation. Inviting in English society, like inviting elsewhere, is based on the relationship between the inviter and the according to the goal of spoken interaction is to communicate things to her by getting him to recognize the attention that one has, to recognize the intention one to communicate those things. And by the implied way, the mean that the people of inviting which indicated what the address of the intention of inviting what without saying that directly. Number one is make an appointment. Number one is break or opening. When you make an appointment with a client, it generally begins with a small talk. However, don't forget to walk or even talk. Number two, listen for short talk. As much possible, cut a time limit when you make an appointment. This is meant to give the impression that you can stay on the phone for too long. The reason of short talk is nothing but to avoid the emergence of question. Number three, just matches time with client. From a short talk, get a time match between you and the client. Make sure that your client has no effort on the specific day. Ask careful each client has an agenda and he's busy at the appointment time. Number four, give your client invitation. When you get him right, don't hesitate to invite client without mentioning your business name. It would be better if in this way of making an appointment, you ask them cooperation or project. Number five, answer question with ending question. If there are questions or perhaps requests that ask you explain related to business, try not to be provoked to explain. Number 5. Confirm. If your client has declared himself willing to attend, don't forget to confirm. Confirmation is needed to emphasize to your client that the appointment made is very important. So if you really have to cancel appointment, client must contact you. Next, press to invite guests and describe event. You can use traditional request the honor, or you can be more creative. If you issue the formal invitation, yaitu wherever here are some extent of invitation wording to get you thinking more effectively. We request the honor of your presence, or be very British and say honor and prefer this person more special. Next, we request the pleasure of your company together with our parents, the executive. Next, it will be presented by my friend Khairu Indah.
Alright, thank you for the previous presenters. Before I continue the presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Khairu Indah Paraswati and I'll be continue the presentation. The next material is how to write a business dinner invitation. Some things never go out of style. Such is the case with the business dinner invitation that, just like party invitation from childhood, contains straightforward information in a centered, easy-to-read format. An invitation that is professionally printed will convey an air of formality. One written by own hand will convey informality and perhaps even your personality and sense of fun. Whether you have the invitation professionally printed or write it in longhand, you might wish to have your company logo imprinted on it for instant recognition on the part of your guests. Either way, preserve the special nature of the occasion by sending your invitation by standard mail. First, craft a welcoming invitation phrase. Copy your invitation with the name of the host, whether it is person or the name of the company. A welcoming phrase such as invites you, cordially invites you, or requests the pleasure of your presence and the nature of the event, such as a dinner, an evening of dinner and dancing, or a dinner and silent auction. Second, state the purpose of the event. Explain the purpose of the dinner if you wish, especially if it tied to an important business event, such as to mark an employee's retirement or to launch a new company products or service offering. The inclusion of such information will help convey the importance of the event. Third, include the details. List the day and date of the business dinner and spell out all the words rather than abbreviating them. Choose between a formal style, for example, Saturday, the 17th of February, or more informal style, such as Saturday, February 17th. Continue the easy-to-read format by writing the location of the business dinner, the street address, city, and state. Fourth, provide the RSVP address or phone number. Include RSVP information. This is where it would be appropriate to convey the inclusion of guests by writing, for example, please RSVP number of attendees by January 5 and the phone number your guest should call. And the last but not least, include special instructions. Demonstrate courtesy to your guests by distinguishing between a cocktail or social hour and the dinner, a guide on spirit lines. For example, you might say on one line cocktails from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and the dinner served at 7:30 p.m. On the following line, close the invitation with any helpful or supplementary information, such as a dress code expectation or the availability of valid parking. Alternatively, garnish the invitation with highlights of the dinner, such as the appearance of musical guests or a celebrity speaker. Here is sample business dinner invitation email. Next, accepting an invitation. Accepting an invitation divided in two sections: accepting a formal invitation and accepting an informal invitation. First, accepting a formal invitation. A. Read the invitation carefully to see how you are supposed to respond. Formal dinner invitation often arrive in the mail or through email, regardless of how your invitation arrives. Read the invitation carefully from top to bottom to figure out how you are supposed to respond. Formal invitation almost always include everything you need to know about accepting or reserving your seat. B. Accept online invitation to the address listed on the invitation. If the invitation lists a website for RSVPs, get on your computer and type in the website's address. On the website, look for a button that says Accept or I'm attending. Click this button and enter any additional information that pop up for menu options or class information. C. Send an email or letter to the host if you are asked to write your response. If the host requires an email or letter reply, start with a formal salutation like, "Dear Mr. Brown." Then, thank the host for the invitation and plainly state that you accept their invitation. Written replies don't need to be longer than 1 until 3 sentences. So don't worry about writing a long acceptance speech. If you are allowed to bring a guest, mention who you are bringing at the end of your response. Next, there are some important things to consider in the format of your acceptance letter. 1. Open with a thank you for the invitation and your confirmation that you will attend. This way, you provide the essential information first. 2. Express your expectation that the event will be a successful and joyous one. 3. You may also ask for further clarification on any details, but do so in a separate paragraph to make it absolutely clear you require a response. 4. Repeat the details of what you expect. This includes meeting date and time, the amount of the bid of your contribution, precise nature of your assistant, the dates, and when you agree to assume dates. 5. Inquire about particular needs like research, direction to the place, equipment for speech, and a list of other organizers. 6. Sign the letter formally with sincerely or your sincerely and include your full name, not only your first name. And next, here is the sample of accepting business dinner or lunch invitation letter by email. Alright, that's my presentation. For the next material, it will be presented by my friends.
Hello, let me introduce myself first. My name is Widya Siti Cahyani and I will continue the presentation from my friends. Okay, today I will explain about accepting an informal invitation and declining an invitation. Things that you have to looking about accepting an informal invitation. First, check your calendar. Before happily accepting an informal invitation, check your schedule to make sure that you are available for dinner on a given date. Second, accept the offer as soon as you reasonable can. To give the host enough time to plan and prepare for dinner, respond as soon as you can. Avoid putting off your response until the last minute, even if there isn't a formal date that you need to respond by. If you can respond to the invitation the same day, you are safe it. And last, respond in the same tone and voice as invitation. If you a quick text asking dinner Thursday, reply if you got a quick text like dinner Thursday, replying with simple sure is totally appropriate. If you receive an email asking you if you're interested in the getting dinner next week, write back, I love to go dinner. What day work best for you? Use whatever tone and manner the host used to reply to their invitation and accept it. Previously, my friends already explained about accepting an invitation, and right now I will explain about declining an invitation. In business, you may get an invitation to various events, networking mixer, and other professional gatherings. Some are perfect fit and you make it a point to attend. Others may not be in your professional realm and aren't as good as fit as others. When this happens, follow proper etiquette to decline the invitation to answer that you won't be out to consideration for the future invitation. Whether it's work dinner you have to miss or an Easter birthday party, sometimes you'll have to turn down an invitation because of the other's commitments. Whether it's work dinner you have to miss or an Easter birthday party, sometimes you have to turn down an invitation because the other commitments. Navigating what to say in English when declining an invitation can be difficult if you are still learning the language. Oversharing your plans or saying too much could be hurt the other person's feelings or get you in trouble at work. Going the fake approach talk that you make seem standoffish and rude. You want to handle what you say with care. Then there was phrases to declining an invitation. Casual ways of turning down an invitation. Example, first, I'm sorry, but I have the other plans that day. The second you can use, thanks for thinking of me, but I have something else going out today. The third you can use, sorry, can I take a train check? The fourth you can use, I really wish I could make it, but I'll be unavailable the whole day. I want to go to over the vocabulary a little bit. When you ask somebody for a rain check, that means you are requesting you to meet up another time. A rain check is literally check that was one issue that people at other event due to the rain. The rain check concept hasn't stuck around, but the term has. When you say, wish you could make it, you are not talking about literally making something. You are saying you wish you could go, but you're using casual term. Express it. You can say make it in positive way as well. For example, if you could go to the friend's party, you just tell them something like, I can definitely make it. I can't wait to see you there. And another way is formal ways of turning down an invitation. First, you can use, thank you very much for the invitation, but unfortunately I cannot make it. Second, I'm very busy that day, so I won't be able to join you. The third is, thank you for extending the invitation to me, but I'm not available that day. The fourth you can use, I'm really busy with work. Can we have a meeting later this week? Or you can use, sorry, I appreciate the invitation, but I won't be able to go. Or the last you can use, I have a big project that I have to complete. Let's talk later this week about how the event went. To keep the relationship between you and this person is a good standing and the conversation positively, here are some good phrases to use. First, you can use, sorry again, I cannot make it, but I hope you enjoy your party. Or you can use, it looks like a big great day for a barbecue, so have fun, I'll be there next time. Or you can use, we shall definitely hang out next week when I get a little more time, okay? Or you can use, I'll be there in spirit. And the last, you can use, I'll be thinking of you. To say that you'll be there in spirit has nothing to do with being tickets. By the way, instead it's a nice phrase that means your spirit will be there at the party even you physically cannot be. You can use the phrases if you talk face to face with the one who invited you, but if the invitation was given by email, you can use the example of this email to decline the invitation. Okay, thank you. Next will be presented by my friends.
Hello friends, my name is Jabarani Nurmajidu. I will continue presentation from my friend. The next material is declining an invitation. We know that accepting an invitation in English is easy, but sometimes you might need to decline an invitation because of other commitments. You need to let the host know in a way that won't upset them. You can 1. Don't ignore the invitation. Putting the invitation aside to deal with later isn't good for you or the person who sent it. The host needs to know whether or not you will be there. Ignoring the invitation shows that you don't know proper manners, and you might be left off the guest list for the next party. 2. Be timely. When you plan to decline an invitation, don't leave your host waiting. Respond as soon as you know you can attend, so that the host can make other arrangements or allow someone else to take your place at the event or gathering. 3. Respond according to invite. The method by which you respond depends on the request in the invitation. If the invitation includes an RSVP card, then fill it out declining to attend the event and return it. However, if the invitation is from a client or special business associate, then in addition to the card, you might call and state that you are sorry that you cannot attend, but to keep in mind for future function. This is a good way to preserve the business relationship, despite declining the invite. 4. Be thankful and be honest. Always sincerely thank the person for inviting you and let them know that you are honored that they think highly enough of you to send the invitation. You don't ever have to come up with false excuse for why you're unable to go to the event, but you also don't have to go into detail. Let them know that you already have plans. That should be enough. 5. Ask for a different time. If the invitation is exclusive to you, let the person know you're unable to make it at the time request, but you love to get together at another time. You can say, "Thank you for extending the invitation to me, but I'm not available that day. I'm really busy with work. Can we have a meeting later this week?" But this is obviously not an option if it's a group get-together. 6. Say regrets. When you are unable to attend, be sure to send your regrets, instead of just making note on an RSVP card. You don't have to go overboard. A simple statement like, "I regret that I'm unable to attend" will suffice. This is a proper etiquette. And let the person that extends the invitation know that you do care about the fact that you were invited and feel bad that you are unable to attend. 7. Don't over-explain. If you can't make it, keep your explanation short and to the point. You can say like, "Thank you very much for the invitation, but unfortunately, I can't make it." Doing otherwise will make it sound like you're just trying to come up with excuse. I will explain about the important rules in business dinner. Meals can be an opportunity to expand network, to diplomacy, to improve business relations. But keep in mind, whether it's a breakfast, lunch, or dinner meeting, there are some rules of the game and ethics that you need to understand from two sides. As an invitee or an invited guest, here's a guide from Pembelajaran. 1. Hand out the invitation with respect. Take into account the position and schedule of the colleague or work partners you invite. The more senior the position of the invited guest, the invitation must be sent at least a week before the day of the meeting. The reason is, the senior official usually has an agenda in 1 week. Appreciate this by not giving a sudden invitation. 2. Present the agenda and prepare the tools you need. Do this at the same time as sending out the invitation. What is the purpose of the meeting? Is there a special discussion? Or is it just networking and hospitality? If you want to discuss something, it will be as detailed as what the discussion will be. Prepare the tools, whether you just need to open a presentation via a laptop or need to print material to read. This shows our professional attitude, that we treat people with respect and that we are aiming for progress through this meeting. If you want to talk about something that requires attention, high focus, and detail such as data, it is better to not combine it with a banquet opportunity. However, talks with banquets are still possible for high-level conversation topics to discuss what we can synergize together. 3. Determine the location. As an invitee, make sure that the location you choose doesn't bother your guests. However, don't immediately assume by choosing the close location to your guest office, because at that time, your guest might be in a different location. When choosing a venue, don't forget to consider how long your meeting will likely last, because there are some places that provide time limits for customers. If it takes a long time, you can book a private room, so it doesn't disturb other customers who want to enter. We must also be sensitive to preference and religion. It is not impossible, for reason or belief and religion. Our invited guests are not willing to eat at a restaurant that also provides a pork menu. 4. On time. This applies to both invited and invited guests. If you are the invitee, you must arrive much earlier to ensure readiness, starting for the room, number of set, and menu. As a guest, this punctuality can be a part of an assessment of your professional behavior in the eyes of clients or partners. 5. Reconfirmation of arrival. As an invitee, make sure you know the number of guests, because it could be guests come with other colleagues. To be more polite, you can ask if your guests are bringing friends. This information is important in relation to reservation of a place. As a guest, try not to cancel an appointment on the spur of the moment. except for a very compelling and sudden reason. In this case, you may inquire about the possibility of reschedule. Don't change the schedule more than once. This is very bad for your credibility. If on the same day you have to go to the next meeting with a college, it's better if your partner book another table. However, if the inviter doesn't mind, then your partner may join. However, if your partner is more than 1 or 2 people, it is better if they book a table themselves. The next material will be explained by my friends.
Okay, I will continue the previous presentation regarding the rules in a business dinner. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Husnul Hatimah. The next rules is dress appropriately. We must know in advance what the profile of the company or workplace that will invite us. If the invites are in a work environment that usually wear batiks or formal clothes, we as guests should also come with a batik or formal clothes. We can also set the meeting location. Do not wear clothes that are too casual when it comes to fine dining restaurant. However, don't be so relaxed or excited that you have to go to the salon. In this case, we must be sensitive enough to wait. It will be easier if we ask if there was a dress code for the banquet. The next rule is selecting a menu. We have to know who our guests will be eating with. There's no way we invite a vegetarian for lunch at the steakhouse. As an invite, you can ask guests if they follow a certain diet or have certain food allergies. As an invite guest, of course, it will be very easy if the food has a predetermined menu. Usually doubts will arise when the invite presents over you a menu list. It is fair that the menu you order does not match the budget of the invite. Don't choose a menu that requires its own complexity when eating it, such a crab is padang sauce or burger with a melt sauce that makes you mouth wide open. As much as possible, choose food that are practical and allow you to eat cleanly. Next is, don't be busy yourself with gadgets. Do not always look at the phone screen or busy checking incoming short message. Showing distracted. Set your phone in silent mode. Use vibrate mode to keep your phone in your pocket or bag, and not on the dining table because this will be very annoying. Don't forget to ask the invite for permission when you have an incoming call that you have to pick up. In addition to showing politeness, this attitude shows your respect for them and will be a plus point itself. If the call is an emergency, it's better to use an automatic instant message facility on the phone screen, such can answer the phone, I will call you back. Okay, the next rule is take care of body language. Eye contact becomes very important when we interact with other people. This eye contact will show your respect and interest in the conversation the other person is talking to. There are times when questions arise while you are chewing food. In this case, don't force yourself to answer. The simple things you can do is to pay attention by nodding your head until you have managed to swallow the food. Only then can you respond. If necessary, can take a sip of water to make sure there is no food residue on your tongue or teeth. Also, don't talk with both hands holding a fork, spoon, or knife pointing up. This can make the other person uncomfortable. Instead, put your cutlery first before talking to the other person. And the last rule is a question pay. In a professional meal like this, it's the invite who takes over the bill. Since the beginning of arrival, tell the waiter to give the bill directly to you. So the waiter is not confused and instead give the bill to the guest. Conclusion. A detailed analysis of the pragmatic device which are employed by English people has been provided in inviting, accepting an invitation or declining it. Several aspects of many strategies presented in section 2 have been highlighted and approached from a socio-pragmatic perspective. The analysis has shown that the strategies utilized by English people for the purpose of inviting, accepting an invitation, and rejecting it are culturally shaped by cooperative elements, and that they could be understood and appreciated by people sharing the same cultural background. Okay guys, thank you for your attention. Hopefully the presentation for our group can add your insight about how to accept and decline invitation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.